Is Starbucks demonic? Hey everybody, I'm Dan McClellan. I'm a scholar of the Bible and religion. Let's take a look at a video.
Did you know every single time we do deliverance, especially mass deliverance, we call out a certain demon called Lilith? I'm not tolerating Lilith.
So the name Lilith occurs once in all the Bible, and that's in Isaiah 34:14, where it occurs among a list of what appear to be the malevolent divine denizens of the uninhabitable wilderness. Now, most scholars agree that this is a borrowing from Mesopotamia, from an Akkadian term, Lilitu, which is probably a generic noun for a specific class of divine being, probably associated with the divine feminine, with sexual deviancy and things like that. However, we don't really get any other indication that anyone has anything to do with Lilith anywhere else in the Bible until we get to the post-biblical period. So, for instance, in some early Jewish literature, there is an interpretation of Genesis 1 and 2 that sees Eve's creation after Adam as a second female that is created, because Genesis 1 describes man and woman being created simultaneously. And so there's this idea that there was another woman in the Garden of Eden before Eve. And that gets developed much later on in the alphabet of Ben Sira, which was written sometime between around 700 and 1000 CE. And this is the text that identifies Lilith as that first woman who was created simultaneously with Adam. And in that story, Lilith wants to be on top, which is almost certainly a reference to sexual positions, but Adam says that she is not fit to be on top, only he is fit to be on top. And so she gets upset and she storms off, and God sends 3 angels after her to bring her back. And these angels are named Senoi, Sansonoi, and Samangaloth. And they tell Lilith that she's got to come back with them. She says, no, I'm going to go be a demon that haunts men during the night, associated with sexual deviancy, and then also afflicts newborns with illness and with death. And she explains that the only way that she's not going to have power over newborns is if they have an amulet on them that has the names of the 3 angels inscribed upon it. So what's known as an apotropaic amulet, or an amulet that wards off evil. So the story is likely an etiology for the use of this apotropaic amulet to try to protect infants from Lilith. But here is the entry on Lilith from the very, very handy Dictionary of Deities and Demons from the Bible.
So from this day moving forward, okay, in our office, on this campus, but especially in this tent, I do not want anything that carries the Starbucks logo on this church property. You hear me? That is Lilith 1000%. I've studied it. It is a demon. It is sexual deviance.
The Starbucks logo has absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with Lilith, who is never associated with the iconography of a woman with 2 tails. The logo was designed by a graphic designer named Terry Heckler in 1971. Now, he claims it was inspired by marine books and Norse woodcuts from the 16th century, but we wouldn't really have any woodcuts from the 16th century that could really be called Norse. Here's how the design originally looked. Now, Heckler said his inspiration was imagery of sirens from these 16th century woodcuts, but this is not a siren. This is what's known in European folklore as a Melusine, or a split-tailed mermaid, not a siren. And we actually know precisely where Heckler got this image from. This book was brand new the year that Heckler created this logo, and we have a discussion of the Melusine in here, as well as this image that is identified as a twin-tailed siren from the 15th century. This is identical to Heckler's design, apart from tiny little changes. In fact, you can put them side by side and you can see precisely what Heckler on the right changed and precisely what he did not. Now, we do not have any iconography from ancient Mesopotamia that we know depicts Lilith, so we can't say for sure what imagery was used to depict her, but we can say for sure that the Starbucks logo has absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with Lilith. This is a laughable conspiracy theory.
I am done with I've been done with Starbucks for a long time. It's communist coffee anyhow.
Yes, you can totally tell by the corporate greed and the violation of all the labor laws and the constant disputes with labor unions that Starbucks is totally communist.